The Maramures region in the far north of Romania borders both Hungary and Ukraine. A green belt nestled between the Carpathian Mountains and Transylvania, whose very names evoke dreams of travel and are enough to draw me into a whole other world of mystery and fascination. I came here to hear the pulse that beats, smell the air, bathe in the light, and perhaps be able to touch for a moment a lost era. I leave the Romanian's precious spirit world and slowly make my way into the land of Maramures. Here, as anywhere else in the world, being a shepherd means first and foremost looking after your flock, listening to them, living at their pace and taking care of each one of the many tasks that fill every day.
The day begins at 5 a.m. You get up, you wash your face, and you're off to work. You do the milking, strain the milk, add in your lactic culture to make the cheese, then you have your breakfast. Then you're off to watch your flock. Same thing all afternoon. Towards 9 in the evening, you have to start again. Milk, make cheese, eat, and finally, sleep. Yes, it's tough, because, well, you never have any free time. You always have to be there. And then you're in the mountains, so it rains a lot and that makes it all the more difficult. There are a lot of wolves around here, so you can never really relax. Plus, of course, there aren't any shops, so it's not easy to sell what you've produced. There are bears too, but it's the wolves that are the main problem. They killed one of my sheep last year. Not just me, my neighbours as well. It nearly happened again too, but the dogs were awake. They were scared, so they were more alert than the previous time. The shepherds here own their own land. I've got 10 hectares, but it's not enough for my flock, so I have to buy some more. Otherwise, I have to rent fresh land every year.
He's a landowner with a few hectares and 2 houses of his own further down the valley, but this man has nevertheless chosen to live in a ramshackle wooden hut in the middle of a field, surrounded by his flock. But he's not turning his back on the world, no. It's a deliberate personal decision, a kind of abstinence, one that requires a level of self-discipline that one can only imagine, for renunciation in our day and age is the most difficult thing there is. Doing the milking, preparing food for his dogs, watching over his flock, and making cheese. These are his principal activities. They provide him with a meager living, but he's rich in other ways.
I do it because I love nature and because it brings me pleasure. And if I don't have a very good year, I can always hope the next year will be better. I'm too old now, and I prefer this to going off somewhere to do some menial job. I'd rather have my freedom here and be happy with what I've got. As it is, my goats are my boss. I'm very fond of them, and I like my life with them.
Surrounded by all this greenery, I'm suddenly reminded of a famous local story here about a being that everyone going into the Carpathian forest was apparently afraid of, the Lady of the Forest.
I've heard about this story, but I don't really know anything about it. The old folks say that she's got horses' hooves and sometimes dogs' paws, but I've never seen or even heard her, and I don't believe any of it. It's only the old folks who believe in that stuff now.
The Lady of the Forest is half woman, half horse, the centaur of the Carpathians. She's been a denizen of the undergrowth here for several generations. It seems she entices reckless young men, casts a spell on them, and holds them captive in the forest all night. But our shepherd is too far down to earth to risk running into her any day soon. Although this dead crow hung up by its feet to mark the beginning of his land might let us suppose that he's not entirely free of all superstition.